This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Tonight, water woes. A boil water advisory in the Halifax area causes headaches for some businesses.
I lost everything.
This woman had to leave her belongings behind after learning raw sewage had been pumped into her apartment building for months. And taking flight, this veteran pilot hits a major milestone.
Another terrific summer day shaping up for Wednesday across the province. Low humidity, lots of sunshine, and warm temperatures. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. Here's something to consider as you make dinner tonight in the Halifax area. A couple 100,000 people in HRM remain under a boil water advisory this evening. This all stems from a system malfunction at a water treatment facility at the Pockwalk watershed yesterday, which had many residents and businesses scrambling today. Here's the CBC's Hannah Vino.
Empty shelves of bottled water, restaurants and daycares closed. These are just some of the issues caused by the boil water advisory in the Halifax area today. J.D. Klein Water Treatment Facility experienced a power outage yesterday, which led to an emergency alert sent out last night. The alert had this restaurant owner concerned about opening this morning.
I was thinking, okay, we got to get in there early to boil up some water. We got to be conscientious of what we're cooking. Most of the things that we are cooking, the water gets boiled first anyway. But I was more concerned about the front of the house here. Yeah, but we were here early and we took care of it. Yeah.
There are some businesses that did have to close today. Trident Cafe was one of them.
Reading the advisory, they were saying filtration's not enough. It needs to be thoroughly boiled. And we went over, our equipment and what we could make, and just found that we did not have the ability to boil the water that we would need to run the cafe. So there was not much we could do this morning but close.
Some residents were out this morning looking for bottled water and coming up empty. Elizabeth Berlasso says while it's not a dire situation for her, she is wondering what happened.
I went online to see, last night especially, I went on the website. I couldn't find any information, just this swath of where the area that's been affected.
Halifax Water says there was an electrical issue inside of the facility, but they're still investigating.
The backup generator did not come on. And as a result of the backup generator not coming on, the water in the treatment plant was not chlorinated, which is the last phase, of course, for about 30 minutes.
While people should continue to boil their water until the advisory is lifted, he says that this is more of a precautionary to ensure if anything did get through, people are not consuming it.
Any water consumed prior to even the last alert, which went out at 8:40 yesterday evening, there is no concern about the water that was consumed.
He says crews are working to get the facility up and running, but that it could be another 24 hours before the advisory is lifted. Hannah Vino, CBC News, Halifax.
Halifax Water says while the boil water advisory is still on, those who are impacted should boil their water for at least 1 minute before using it for the following: drinking, preparing infant formula, making ice cubes or juices, cooking, washing fruits or vegetables, brushing teeth, or any other activity requiring human consumption. The water is still safe for everything else as long as it is not being swallowed. Graham Gagnon is an engineer and the director of the Centre for Water Resources Studies at Dalhousie University. He says this weekend's incident at Halifax Water points to a shortcoming at the utility.
We have redundant pumps for a reason. We have redundant chlorine systems for a reason. And so what this does tell us is that there is a clear engineered system that needs to be looked into. So the electrical and backup generator tandem. And so this is a clear evidence in terms of what a priority for Halifax Water should be, but also a good reminder for the water sector around redundancy and ensuring that we have multiple ways to treat water safely.
I'll talk to Graham Gagnon about the level of risk and Halifax Water's handling of this incident. That's our Newsmaker interview just after 6:30. A New Glasgow woman recently had to flee her apartment when a massive raw sewage leak was discovered in the basement. She believed the building had been condemned, but CBC News has learned 2 levels of government knew about it and did nothing. Nicholas Sagan has that story.
Okay, so here we are in the basement.
The plumber walked through the basement, taking in one of the worst cases of his 30-year career.
This has been going on for far too long.
He estimates raw sewage pumped into the home for a year, the tenants above oblivious to what was going on.
When I moved into that place, I was living in my car. So I thought it was going to save me, when in reality it just made me sick.
Gallant lived here for 2 years. Besides a slight smell, she dealt with rats, roof leaks, and faulty electricity. It's what she could afford on her wages from Tim Hortons, and it was better than her car. But when the leak was discovered, she left, leaving most of her possessions behind.
I lost everything. And that's going to make me cry a little bit now, but it's a shock, basically, to find out that you can't take the clothes that are on your back and you just have to leave everything.
Gallant believed the home was condemned because the plumber had called the province and the municipality with his concerns. But both levels of government told CBC they didn't condemn the building or even enter the home to investigate, saying it wasn't their jurisdiction. And the landlord didn't respond to our request for comment. Gallant experienced facial swelling, rashes, and infections, going to the emergency department multiple times. One doctor says he's seeing more patients whose living conditions seem to be making them sick.
It just seems like there's more and more out there in terms of people describing events where the landlord is not doing what is necessary for their basic health, and that's a human right.
Town officials say even though they knew about the leak, they didn't consider sending in a bylaw inspector because they hadn't heard directly from the tenants. Advocates say this shouldn't mean officials can wash their hands of it.
The way that the system typically works is the onus is on the tenant to identify and raise concerns about unhealthy conditions. And this is one of the roots of the problem. We've put the burden on the people who have the most to lose.
Though Gallant did lose her housing and most of her possessions, she found a new apartment with help from a local homeless shelter. She's slowly working to buy the essentials and keep moving forward. Nicola Sagan, CBC News, New Glasgow.
All right, well, it may be a day late for those who are looking to celebrate Canada Day, but boy, beautiful day today in Nova Scotia.
Yeah, for sure. A fantastic day. And yeah, a day late for sure. Though some parts of the province, not too bad yesterday, especially through the valley and across the north where those showers were just barely any shower action, unlike the Atlantic coastline. Now you can see temperatures today ranging between, well, high teens along the coast, but most of us comfortably into the mid to high 20s today. A really, really nice day, of course, with all that sunshine. The back edge of the last bit of clouds now clearing away from Cape Breton. As we back things out, we are watching this frontal boundary, which is going to continue to work its way out. High pressure moving overhead. Light winds, lots of sunshine on tap again for tomorrow. Then we're watching this system, which will build the clouds in for Thursday and increase the humidity for the end of the week and into the weekend, along with increasing our shower chances. For tomorrow, a very similar day to today, but Mother Nature going to turn the thermostat up by a couple of degrees in most cases. A good shot at cracking 30, especially through inland parts of the province. At the very least, we're going to be into the mid to high 20s. For pretty much everybody, with those light winds, keeping temps a bit cooler in those onshore sea breezes. So there's the Wednesday setup, and then note the clouds kind of building in for Thursday, but a mix of sun and cloud here. Those southerly winds increasing, humidity remaining low on Thursday, which is great. Then a chance for some showers moving in as early as Thursday night, but more so into Friday. And it's this system here which is going to be building in with that southerly flow, really increasing the humidity, getting a bit soupy towards the end of the week. And that looks to be the name of the game through the weekend and into next week, Tom. So if you're a fan of the dry heat, soak it up over the next 2 days.
Will do. Okay, Ryan Snoddon in the Weather Center. Thanks very much for that.
Thank you.
Pallet shelters are scheduled to arrive in Cape Breton later this month after a controversial start and change in location. The original plan was to have nearly 30 units placed in Whitney Pier, but after several community meetings, New Dawn Enterprises relocated the project to a property that it owns in Pine Tree Park. The units will arrive on July the 22nd. They should open 2 weeks after that, once power has been connected to the community. Still in Cape Breton, a jeweler there says she's worried about a roadside scam. People are handing out their hard-earned cash for what they think is gold jewelry. Aaron Potty explains.
Kim Boudreau has been in the jewelry business for almost 40 years. She says over the past few weeks, 4 people have come into her store to cash in on gold jewelry that they think is real. Her clients have all told similar tales of encountering a frantic motorist near a highway exit or ramp. She says once stopped, the person tells them they're desperate for money to pay for gas, car repairs, or even food.
They've been coming in to have their jewelry checked because they've been given this jewelry by people who they have loaned money to, and the people are saying, just take this jewelry, cash it in, and that will repay you for your kind deed for the money that you've lent me.
Many of the people who came to Boudreaux's shop did not report the scams, and Boudreaux said some admitted they felt embarrassed.
And we've had people say, I gave them everything I had in my wallet. I gave them $5,000, one gentleman. So it is a significant crime right now that's happening, and we really want to warn people.
Cape Breton Regional Police say there's been 5 reports of people trying to sell gold jewelry for gas money in the past few months. But the people who reported it didn't give the scammers any money, and they were gone by the time police arrived. RCMP have no reports of similar scams happening throughout the province.
However, I can tell you that, fraudsters are out there. They're constantly evolving their craft. They are very, very savvy, and they're good at getting that personal information from you or making that transaction happen. They're going to make it look like it's very urgent and put pressure on you.
Tremblay is reminding people to trust their gut. If something doesn't feel right, or if someone is pressuring you to hand over money quickly, it's probably a scam and should be reported to police. Erin Potty, CBC News, Sydney.
Health Canada is recalling 3 major brands of heat pumps. It affects Daikin, Amana, and Goodman products. There's concern that some units could overheat and potentially cause harm. Health Canada says there has been no reports of injury in Canada. There is a corrective update available for these heat pumps. If your unit has not received this, the heat pump should be turned off. A full list of models affected is available on the government's recall and safety alerts page. Rural communities in Nova Scotia may have a better chance of cashing in on the province's growing film and TV production industry. That's because the provincial government is beefing up the incentive it offers production companies to film outside of Halifax. Right now, anything shot more than 30 kilometers from the city centre is eligible for a 2% bonus. That will increase to 7% if a shoot takes place 100 kilometers from City Hall. Shoots that take place 150 kilometers or more from City Hall will be eligible for a 10% bonus. But to get any of the bonuses, a production will have to spend at least half their shooting schedule outside Halifax. A pilot from CFB Greenwood will be inducted into the Canadian Aviation Hall of Fame in September. Major Mary Cameron Kelly is originally from North Sydney and joined the military after high school in 1981. Since then, she's had a remarkable 43-year career where she became the Royal Canadian Air Force's first female maritime patrol pilot and a crew commander. Paul Palmer spoke to her about hitting a significant milestone, a full calendar year's worth of flight time.
Hi, I'm Major Mary Cameron Kelly, and I am a pilot here at 14 Wing Greenwood. My dad was a Korean veteran, and he didn't say much about what happened and stuff like that, and my grandparents were involved in the military in some degree, so I thought that would be kind of an interesting career. I wanted to do something exciting, something with a bit of adventure, and have a bit of fun. It was a long road, for sure. It's always, everybody has their ups and downs, but I think for me, I had more ups than downs, and to overcome some challenges and stuff. I really enjoyed that atmosphere and adventure that especially the military brought for me. I think my career highlight's been getting a year in the air as a military pilot. It's quite significant these days because with the reduced hours and getting the opportunity to do it. In the early 80s and 90s, we did fly a lot. I started my journey here on the Aurora in the 90s. So at that time, things were pretty busy, and I was able to get quite a few hours then. But then I went to the 404 Squadron, which is the training school, and I probably spent over half my flying hours in 404 Squadron as an instructor pilot. I guess to be kind of significant memories, I can't really say one that really outstanding in particular, because I've been all the way to working down the Aleutian chain there in Alaska. I've been as far as over in Dubai, and I've been down far as south in Curacao. I've been up north as far as Thule. My bucket list thing would maybe make it to the North Pole. I think I would love to fly before I retire and go up and do Circle the North Pole. I think it's just the little things that just came up at the right opportunity, and you kind of take advantage of them. So really, you know, just being with the people, going to different countries, working with different military personnel, working together as a coalition force to, you know, come together and at the time of need or whatever they want us to do. The Canadian Aviation Hall of Fame, well, that's a pretty big milestone. I've had no idea this would lead up to this, but for the last 6-7 years, like, the accomplishments has been kind of like, it just kind of happened one after another. When I reached my milestone for the 1 year in the air, the boys had a little surprise for me afterwards. So after we landed, they took me through the bird bath, we call it. So you sit on a chair, and the mule and the chair goes through the bird bath, and it was freaking cold. But it's kind of one of the significant things they do for somebody's retiring or some significant event that happened. And so my significant event was taken through the bird bath for a little splash.
Must have been pretty cool, though.
Oh yeah,
literally
it was freaking cold. Yeah, but it's just at the point where, all right, I had enough now. I still kept on going, but I kind of got through it. The Hall of Fame, it kind of recognizes the individuals or groups of people who have done accomplishments that are with significant major milestones. And they kind of look at that, what you can contribute to the aviation community in Canada. It's really surreal, put it that way, because we don't see many women coming up through. Whether it could be like with their aviation career and being motherhood, being a parent, whether that is significant or not, but it's really a good feeling to see more coming in. And that the trip that I had with we have two ladies that are on the course right now, and they are the first two girls that or women that I've flown with that we together as a crew in the aircraft. And I thought it's kind of really cool, because normally it's all male, but now like the women are starting to get involved, and I thought that would be it's kind of significant and surreal. For seeing some women, and you get to torment the guys too. I have a stuffed bear called Shiny. My daughter named it Shiny because he had a bunch of little sparkles going through him. So it's a red bear with a Canadian flag on it. It's a TY bear, and I started carrying that around with me every different places I went in the world and taking pictures. And it was kind of significant to take this bear around and go to all these places and take pictures. So my daughter was always kind of curious, you know, where the bear went and its journeys. If I had to do it all over again, I probably would not have changed anything. But what kind of led me down this path was during my childhood, I wanted to play hockey, and girls weren't allowed to play hockey at the time when I was growing up. So me and myself and another girl there, we got able to play in the Little League of North Sydney, Little League baseball. And so we were the first two girls there. I think if hockey what it was today, that back then, I might have done the hockey route, because I love sports.
Coming up, as the UN Security Council discusses the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, Israel launches airstrikes over the southern city of Khan Yunis. And stern White House reaction to a landmark U.S. Supreme Court ruling that could shield all presidents from prosecution. Well, now, here comes a splash into summer at Victoria Park. Ryan Snoddon back with your full weather forecast in just a few minutes. All right, we're just talking about some of the amazing videography that we saw just before the break there, the kids going down the slide. And that might have been your work.
Yeah, for sure. We took the boys to Victoria Park on Saturday, and that was my wife's phone. We got a little wet in the phone in the pool.
You didn't
there,
use the CBC issued phone.
No,
I see.
that's right.
Just to be
But
safe, yeah.
it was okay. They're water resistant. So
how many times
worth
did you get down the
shot.
slide yourself?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah, sure.
A couple times. It was a great day, and that's a great
Yeah.
park, obviously. And Sunday a bit damp.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was really split. Like the Valley, the North Shore had a pretty good day.
Mm-hmm.
The Atlantic Coast, even here, there were some breaks. Thankfully, after a pretty damp morning. But overall, we'll take it for a Canada Day weekend. It's certainly a terrific day out there today, and a beach day for sure. Have a look at this.
That is a beach, a beauty of a beach, isn't it? Wow.
White Point.
Yeah, nice scene there.
For sure. Temperatures along the coast today, right around 18, 19, 20 degrees. So if you were looking to beat the heat, that was a great spot. And again, tomorrow, the coast is going to be just a terrific spot to be. Temperatures out there right now, and you can see we're well into the mid-20s for most of the province, but we've got those temps closer to the coastlines. more like high teens, low 20s, and Cape Breton, a similar story right now. Now, as we look at the dew point values, and again, this is really what we're going to be talking about over the next few days, because right now we're pretty pleasant. It's nice, summer, dry, but those dew point values are going to be creeping upward toward the end of the week, and we'll show you the muggy meter here coming up just before the 7-day forecast, and that's really going to reiterate to what we're going to be looking at in terms of that increasing humidity as we move through the next few days. Nice right now, though. High pressure dominating. There's that frontal boundary, which has been bringing more and more rain to St. John's. The wettest June on record for St. John's and the Avalon Peninsula. And the rain continued into July, but they're clearing out thanks to that area of high pressure moving in, keeping us dry. Then we're watching this next system, which is going to be moving in and again increasing the humidity as we work our way into the next few days as we get into that southerly flow. The heat continues across the U.S. South. Temperatures pretty pleasant across Canada, a bit cool for early July. High teens, low 20s in most cases, but those temps are going to be heating up again, especially across southern Ontario. Light winds as we look into tonight with temperatures generally in the 10 to 13 range. Couple of low-lying areas, especially inland, will dip down into the single digits. We will see some very patchy fog setting up overnight tonight in through tomorrow morning. And again, lots of sunshine throughout the day tomorrow. It's going to be a really terrific day. Note tomorrow evening, we will see some clouds building in, but note even by 11 o'clock tomorrow evening, temperatures into the teens and 20s. And yeah, those sunset times still post 9 p.m., after 9 p.m. for a few more days before it starts to slide. Tomorrow, temperatures across Cape Breton ranging between 24 and 28 for most. But again, if you were right along the coastlines, it is going to be a bit cooler with those sea breezes. We'll see, again, sea breeze along the Atlantic coastline tomorrow, a light sea breeze along the Northumberland shore as well with those winds relatively light. Temperatures 26 to 28 in the metro area. Wouldn't be surprised if we do get a little warmer than that. Best chance of 30 will be in and around Truro and back towards the Kedzie Park area and even in through the valley. A shot at 30 tomorrow. Looking at, again, temperatures a bit cooler along that Tri-County coastline. For Thursday, southerly flow a little bit more pronounced. So a stronger sea breeze here along the Atlantic coastline, not so much along the Northumberland shore with an offshore wind there. So a heads up there if you're thinking about which beach to head to. Thursday looking a little more favorable for the Northumberland shore. Clouds a little more dominant on Thursday, no question, but a solid mix of sun and cloud by the looks of things. Shower chances for Thursday night into Friday, and this is that humidity which is really going to be building in. Let's show you the muggy meter and note the next couple days still in the summer sweet range, creeping up for Friday and then into Saturday and Sundays when we'll really start to feel it. So it will increase, become noticeable on Friday, I think even a little more than what this muggy meter is showing, but certainly it is going to be the weekend when we really start to feel it. That'll increase our shower chances, especially Sunday, and then drying out as we work our way into early next week. But not a bad 7-day forecast overall. Tom.
I like it a lot. Okay, Ryan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The weather update is brought to you by Tourism Gaspésie. Plan your stay in Gaspésie at tourismgaspésie.com and enjoy extraordinary moments.
Well, up next, I'll talk with Graham Gagnon at the Centre for Water Resources Studies at DAL about the boil water order and how Halifax Water's handling of the whole situation went down. That's our Newsmaker interview. Stay with us. You are watching CBC Nova Scotia News. A power outage at a water treatment facility serving 200,000 people in HRM has led to a boil water order. Halifax Water is recommending people boil their water for at least 1 minute if they are consuming it or using it for food preparation. Graham Gagnon is the director for the Center for Water Resources Studies here at Dalhousie University on a lab here on campus. First of all, just overall, how are you feeling or how concerned are you about what's happened at Halifax Water this past weekend?
Well, thanks, Tom. I think first concerned as an engineer that we had an engineered system have a sort of temporary stop. And so whenever engineered systems don't work properly, always a bit of a concern. From a water quality standpoint, this is a precautionary measurement that the government and Halifax Water has taken, which I think is appropriate. And we have these regulations in place to ensure the safety of our people, and I think they've executed them properly. And so really not too concerned in that the systems are all working properly and as they should in terms of executing a boil water advisory and regulating one.
This is an issue around chlorination or lack of chlorination of water. What's your understanding of what happened and what they're trying to be cautious about?
Yeah, as I understand things, there was a failure of pumping equipment based on sort of an electrical demand, which lost chlorine for a temporary amount of time. I think it's about a half an hour. Of course, all that water was still filtered and still treated. It just meant it wasn't chlorinated. And for a period of time. And so I think the systems were back up and running within, as I said, about a half an hour. And water is now being sent through the distribution system, treated, and has been for not quite 24 hours, but close to it.
What is the risk of unchlorinated water from the Pockwalk watershed?
Yeah, so I think in water treatment, we think about barriers. And so the most important barrier is a source. So Pockwalk Lake is an excellent source that has very little inputs. The next barrier, of course, is other treatment processes like filtration, which is incredibly important and probably removes 99% of the bacteria. And chlorination is that sort of last remaining bit, which would be about 0.9% or thereabouts. And so really we're talking about some final polishing, which is still important and needs to be in place, but that's really what we're concerned about as engineers and scientists in water treatment.
When you said few inputs in Pockwalk, what do you mean? What's the concern about the water source or those potential inputs?
Yeah, so I mean, we're very lucky in Nova Scotia in that we have a lake, and particularly in Halifax, we have a lake that is isolated. So we don't have wastewater discharges into the lake. We don't have agricultural activity around the lake or any other type of industrial input. And so few inputs are really, it's a forested area. And so we can imagine there is wildlife. And so those creatures, which may be deer or beavers or whoever knows what's in that wildlife, would be the few inputs that we're thinking about. But in the grand scale of water treatment, this is very, very minor.
Okay, so let's say you didn't know about the issues at Halifax Water last night. You were drinking water, cooking, whatever, all evening. This morning, you kind of wake up to realize what's happening. How concerned should you be about the amount of water that you might have consumed or what impact it might have on you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll certainly come down to location. Some parts of our city, we have a lot of stored treated water. So here on the peninsula where we are at Dalhousie, there's a large water tank of treated water in the north end of Halifax that will probably do most of peninsular Halifax very well. And Sackville and other places have similar types of storage. So for those citizens in these types of areas, you can imagine that they'll have a lot of stored clean water that they'll be using already in the system, and in particular if they had would have used it during the period that they should have been boiling.
How do you feel about the way the Halifax Water has been handling the situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think both Halifax Water and their regulator, Department of Environment and Climate Change, have managed this highly appropriately, in that Halifax Water notified their customers as soon as they knew about the problem. And they also were, as I understand, in close contact with the regulator. The regulator then processed the information and made their decision appropriately. I think both parties have acted in a manner that is responsible and aligned with our environmental regulations.
Some people were surprised that Halifax Water was warning people around roughly 6 o'clock about the issue, but that it wasn't almost 3 hours or so before people got the alert on their phones from or the emergency alert or the alert letting them know that there was a boil water advisory in place. Did that surprise you at all that it took that long to put that warning out?
Yeah, I mean, it's Canada Day, so we should start there. First of all, Halifax Water got their notice out, and it's in the evening, so information flowed from Halifax Water to the regulator, and I'm sure the regulator took some time to process the situation and then notify at a sort of broader means through emergency acts and other processes. All those things, in my mind, require different phone calls, different means of communication to make decisions. And I think 3 hours is highly responsive.
Do you think anyone would be at risk during that time period?
I don't think any greater risk in the sense that water was then in that period being treated with chlorine, was treated already with filtration. So water would have been treated along that time appropriately. But I think, I think all parties acted the best that they could.
Great to get your insights on this.
Yeah,
much appreciated. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Coming up, Hurricane Beryl is now a Category 5 storm and is leaving a path of destruction in the Caribbean. The Israeli military launched overnight airstrikes in the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis after ordering civilians to evacuate. It's after a rocket barrage toward Israel yesterday that Islamic Jihad claimed responsibility for. At the United Nations, the delivery of aid to Gaza remains a top priority. One official says Israel needs to find solutions to allow safe delivery of aid, or millions will go hungry. Jody Jacobs has more.
The United Nations on Tuesday reporting another night of heavy bombardment across Gaza. The UN's senior humanitarian and reconstruction coordinator for Gaza, Sigrid Kaag, addressed a Security Council meeting where she again rang the alarm bells, describing the humanitarian situation in the enclave as a maelstrom of human misery. Kaag was designated by the Council in December to facilitate and monitor all humanitarian aid consignments into Gaza. She added that while a team has been working tirelessly to streamline and accelerate the delivery of humanitarian assistance, it has been fraught with challenges due to military activity and the lack of safe routes. That urgent flow of aid could soon be disrupted yet again as Israel directs Palestinians to evacuate parts of Khan Yunis and Rafah.
In the subsequent closure of the Rafah border crossing in early May, the volume of aid entering into Gaza or being distributed across Gaza has dropped significantly. Military activity and the lack of safe routes inside Gaza continue to severely impact humanitarian operations. A near total breakdown of civil order has further led to an environment of lawlessness and criminality. This worrying trend further hampers the UN's ability to deliver on its mandate.
While many council members expressed grave concern about the humanitarian situation, some say increasing the humanitarian aid volumes alone is not the lasting solution. Only an immediate ceasefire will help. The Security Council in June adopted a ceasefire resolution, but it's yet to be implemented. The US representative telling the Council that while it has pressed Israel to improve humanitarian access, it's also up to Hamas to accept the ceasefire proposal. Security Council resolutions are legally binding, but they are often ignored. Jody Jacobs for CBC News at the United Nations in New York.
The shockwaves continue to roll through the American justice and political systems following yesterday's decision by the U.S. Supreme Court. The controversial ruling shields a president from prosecution for official actions while in office. The ramifications could be immense. Richard Madden has the latest.
Both the current and former president are giving two starkly different reactions to that historic Supreme Court decision on presidential immunity. Not only has the High Court defined a whole new set of presidential powers, it also wrote official presidential acts cannot be used as evidence in a trial. Team Trump is celebrating the ruling that now shields him from any criminal prosecution while conducting official acts in office. It's a big win for him, but a major setback to his criminal case where he's charged with trying to overturn the 2020 election and the violence leading up to January 6th. It also means that trial won't start until after Election Day in November. President Joe Biden, meantime, is sounding the alarms, warning if Trump is reelected, this court ruling would only embolden him to abuse the power of the office.
This nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law, not even the President of the United States.
Now we're already seeing the domino effect from this landmark decision. Prosecutors in New York have agreed to delay Trump's sentencing in that hush money conviction initially set for next Thursday so the judge can review the impact of this decision. Trump's lawyers argued his presidential tweets and testimony from his former White House staffer Hope Hicks were official presidential acts.
What we have in New York is a situation where a substantial number of official acts of the presidency, things that we believe are official acts, were used as evidence to support the charges in that New York trial. We believe that corrupts that trial, that indicates that jury verdict needs to be overturned, and at the very least, we deserve a new trial.
It's ultimately up to the judge to decide whether to postpone the sentence, but with both sides in agreement, it's expected he will. Now, presidential immunity could also impact Trump's classified documents case in Mar-a-Lago and the election subversion case in Georgia. Was Trump's call to its Secretary of State to, quote, find the votes, an official presidential act, or a private one? And while the court did not give Trump full immunity, Team Trump are taking victory laps. From a political, legal, and delay perspective, they appear to be winning the battle for now. Richard Madden, CBC News, Washington.
Hurricane Beryl is closing in on Jamaica. It's now strengthened to a dangerous Category 5 and has already left a trail of destruction across the region. People in Jamaica are beaching boats and boarding up windows, preparing for Beryl's arrival. The hurricane has already made landfall on several smaller islands in the Caribbean. At least 2 people were killed. This is the earliest Category 5 storm in the Atlantic, Caribbean, and Central American basin. Scientists say the unusually early timing and rapid intensification of the storm is partly due to warmer ocean temperatures. Over 100 people are feared dead after a stampede today at a Hindu religious gathering in northern India. The stampede happened in a village about 200 kilometers south of New Delhi. Officials say a large crowd had gathered on an area of open ground in response to a call from a local religious leader. They say the stampede was caused by overcrowding as people were trying to leave the venue, and that they expect the number of dead to rise. The Canadian military has quietly walked back one of the most controversial changes to its relaxation of dress code regulations: hair grooming. The CBC's Murray Brewster has the details in this exclusive report.
By traditional military standards, this is considered a bit scruffy.
I get to wear a pretty cool mustache now.
And that's why the military has moved to set some limits. It has amended its controversial grooming regulations, rules that were first relaxed in September 2022. The length of beards is now restricted to 2.5 centimeters, and hair for both men and women must be tied back away from the face and off the collar.
All right, bring it down there.
The relaxation of decades-old standards has been the subject of sometimes furious debate that has divided military members. This internal D&D survey, obtained by CBC News, shows just how deep the split runs when it comes to the overall relaxation of standards. Only about 33% feel as though the initial changes are good for the CAF. 44% do not. Members of the Army, non-commissioned members, and men are generally less supportive. However, women and members of the 2SLGBTQ+ community say it makes them proud to serve. When the relaxed rules first came into effect, the military was at the height of the sexual misconduct crisis. Important context for this researcher, who says that atmosphere contributed to cynicism among the troops.
It's quite hard to read those changes as outside of the political and social context where they happened, which was the sexual misconduct crisis and questioning of the military's equity, diversity, and inclusion record.
But a former senior commander disagrees, saying the changes were first discussed as far back as 2016 and intended to reflect the new overall face of Canadian society.
The Canadian Forces is still getting a sense of who it is culturally.
The argument against the relaxed standards, most often, is that it takes away from combat effectiveness. However, there is nothing in the research to back that up.
This has made some profoundly uncomfortable, based on the generation they come from. Others from a newer generation are completely at ease with it.
Most of Canada's allies ended this grooming debate several years ago. Many allow beards as long as they're trimmed. Hair is a different story, though. Most allied nations insist their troops be as clean-cut as possible. Murray Brewster, CBC News, Ottawa.
Restrictions on indoor water use have been dropped in Calgary. They were triggered by a major water main break early last month.
And I'm relieved to say that today we can deliver some much needed good news. I'm incredibly pleased to share that indoor water use can now return to normal.
City crews continue to work to stabilize the water system, and a local state of emergency is expected to be lifted on Thursday. Residents had been asked to cut back on their usual number of showers, toilet flushes, and loads of laundry in an effort to reduce water use by 25%. Restrictions on outdoor use remain in effect for the city and surrounding communities. Canadian doctors are warning there is a surge in amputations related to type 2 diabetes in the Black community. That is in part because Black Canadians aren't screened for the disease as often as other groups. Christine Birak has more on the cause of this discrepancy and the push to address it.
If I lose that second leg,
Dwayne Lee lost his right foot to a blood clot in his 30s. Now he's terrified he'll lose the other to diabetes.
if I lose this leg, I lose all ability, and then I probably would be wheelchair bound.
Looked at white, South Asian, and Black populations, and it was surprising.
Doctors say despite higher rates of diabetes among South Asians, Black people are experiencing an epidemic of amputations due to untreated diabetes. In the U.S., Black diabetics lose limbs at triple the rate of others. The most recent StatsCan data reveals Black men and women are twice as likely to die from diabetes compared to white men and women.
There are many things that could explain why this ratio is so much higher.
Studies point to systemic racism and social marginalization, which deeply impacts a person's education, income, and food security. And Black Canadians aren't being screened for diabetes as often as others.
When you diagnose diabetes late, you treat it late, it's already more severe, so then they're more likely to get amputations.
All Canadians are supposed to be screened for signs of diabetes at 40, which can include foot checks.
I'm looking for any breaks or openings in the skin.
This training program at Toronto General trains care workers to look for wounds, infections, and loss of feeling. Scientists say foot checks can prevent 85% of diabetes-related amputations.
This is vital. It is amazing because it is so simple. It's a really great scalable solution to what otherwise feels like an unmanageable problem.
In the community, we need awareness.
Lee says more Black Canadians need to start talking about foot checks. It's a small but potentially life-changing step. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
Canada's main stock index rose today, erasing earlier losses, while the U.S. stock markets also climbed higher. Here's a look at how the markets did as we head to break. Well, good to know that, Ryan, you managed to get out and enjoy the finer part of the weekend this past weekend.
Yeah.
The water slide and all.
The water slide and all, and yeah, I was in the pool twice this weekend, so making the best of it for sure. Yeah, and listen, if you were anywhere near the water this weekend, it's a great place to be, especially in this province. So have a look at our viewer picture of the day. This one, Barry Burgess, and I dare say a few folks down in this neck of the woods, Hackett's Cove. Look at this.
Lovely Canadian scene, isn't it?
Yeah. Thanks to Barry for sharing this. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Love the color in that picture. So for Hackett's Cove tomorrow, probably around, 24, 25 degrees right along the coastline there. Perhaps a little cooler if you're right along the water, but it is a light sea breeze tomorrow. So a really nice day tomorrow. We'll be looking at low humidity again for Thursday. Temperatures similar, 24 to 28, more cloud in the mix on Thursday. So if you're looking for the straight up sunshine, tomorrow is your day. And then we'll be, again, watching that cloud build in for Thursday. Some isolated shower chances as we work our way into Friday, thanks to a frontal boundary, which will move in actually as early as Thursday night. That will be increasing the humidity. And so we'll be watching for that, bringing some isolated shower chances as well for Friday, Saturday, and our greatest chance will be Sunday, but again, still a ways out, so we'll keep you posted on that. Tom, you were talking about Beryl earlier, and that system is working its way westward, keeping an eye on that Category 4 storm, and that, again, is one that obviously the folks in Jamaica are watching very closely, as well as folks in Cancun and on the coast of Mexico, as that will then cross, then move back out into the Gulf. So this is going to be one that, many folks are watching over the next few days as it tracks westward and into the Gulf of Mexico.
For good reason, for sure. Okay, some good news. Adorable penguin chicks have left the nest and hit the water for the first time at the London Zoo. Take a look at this. 11 baby Humboldt penguins had their first swimming lesson recently since they hatched in April. The soft, fluffy feathers they were born with have been replaced by stiff, waterproof ones. That means they're ready to take a dip in the zoo's shallow training pool.
When they reach adulthood, they can swim at speeds of up to 55 kilometers an hour. Humboldt penguins are native to coastal Peru and Chile and are classified as a threatened species.
And pretty cute to boot, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
That's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.